Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thank you for joining me today. I'm here with a layout just for fun, and I am super excited to share this with you guys. Have you ever looked at a layout or watched a process video and you just were completely mesmerized by the sheer beauty of it and how gorgeous everything was? Well, that happened to me the other day when I saw Paige Evans' gorgeous butterfly layout where she used the black and white stripes and the mixed media rainbow colored butterflies and then cut them out and stacked them together and made this gorgeous, stunning layout. I must have watched that process video 1,000 times, and so I felt instantly compelled to make stacked layered butterflies, and so that's what I'm going to do on this layout. So this is totally inspired by Paige, and a semi scrap lift is what I would call it. She used Vicki Boutin's mixed media products. I don't have a lot of her art crayons. I only have a couple. So I'm going to try this with my stash of gelatos here. And this is what Paige did. She used an acrylic block, scribbled some of the art crayons onto it, spritzed it with water, and then just turned it over and used it kind of like a stamp to create this messy, beautiful background. And this is just plain white textured cardstock here. It's stuck to my Cameo silhouette cutting mat already, and I smudged some white gesso down over the bulk of this, so this way I can smudge and blend. And this is kind of an experiment. I just wanted to see what this would look like, and I'm just making a mess here. I'm just scribbling on the gelatos, watering it down a little bit, and then smushing it down. And this is just an acrylic block that you would use for stamping. And you know, the possibilities are endless here. You could do so many things to this white cardstock to add messy color to it like this. And the texture here looks really, really cool. I love how some of it is pooling up and making bigger splotches of color. You can blend colors together. Yeah, I'm gonna spend a lot of time making this background here, and then once I cut the butterflies, I'm gonna continue to play with them because they turn out so pretty. Now I'm telling you, you cannot mess this up. You see, I'm just making a big old mess here. So I let this dry, and then I opened up Paige's newest butterfly cut file. She has a couple of different butterflies cut files, and I copied and pasted a couple more and just tried to fill up the entire sheet, and I just ran it through my Cameo, and I'm ready to peel this off. I was so excited to see how these butterflies looked, but I added some gold splatters. I'm adding some black splatters here with some Heidi Swapp Color Shine and some shimmers. And I'm still not ready to take them off yet. I'm going to continue to use the gelatos and do some more smudging because there were some butterflies that had a lot of white left on them, and I didn't want to cover them completely. I did want some white on there, but I did want to add a little bit more color. So I'm going to take some time to do that with a blue gelato, and then I'm going to go ahead and peel these off. And my Cameo mat is really old. I need to get a new one. The stickiness is pretty much wearing off, but I think these butterflies turn out so pretty, and I love the that paper there, the outline of everything. I'm going to use that on something. It's too pretty to throw away. You saw how easy that was, right? Anybody could do this. All you have to do is smush down some color and then punch out shapes or run it through your Cameo. You could do anything with this. So I had a couple tear because I was impatient and there were parts of my paper that weren't 100% dry. Yeah, don't put wet paper in your Cameo because pieces will tear. Yeah, I knew this already, but I was impatient and I thought it was dry, but apparently not. So some of my butterfly wings ripped off, so I had to kind of do a little bit of surgery there. Now I'm just going to start to play around with these. I've never created layered butterflies, but Paige made it look super easy and so much fun. And so I thought, I'm going to try this, and I'm going to start to layer some of them on top of each other. They're not even the same shape or the same style of butterfly, and that's what makes it so cool, is they're just kind of different and random. So this is something else that Paige did. She stitched down the middle of the butterflies, and so I tried to do that. Love how that looked. I left all the strings hanging off just because of the messy factor, and just I think it's so pretty. And of course, I'm not done with them yet. So I put them on a paper towel here, and I'm bringing out some shimmers. I've got some orange, some pink, some blue, and I'm just going to keep adding to them until they have the exact amount of color that I want them to have. And I could just keep doing this all day. I don't know when to call it quits, you know, because it's so much fun to do this, and I love seeing the color just appear. So these are dry, and I'm going to show you what I've got so far. Look how pretty these are. Oh, love. Paige is a genius. I totally just want to keep making butterflies for the rest of eternity because they're just so pretty. Yeah, I want to try this with some different shapes. So here are the two pictures I'm going to use. Just some random cute pictures of my oldest daughter. She was sitting on the couch, I think, and she was, or sitting by the couch. She was laughing, and I was trying to like hold her hands down because she kept putting her hands up. And I just got some really cute candid shots of her laughing and smiling, and I just thought they were really pretty. So I printed them in black and white. Now this is something else that Paige did on her layout. She did it a little bit differently. She used black acrylic paint and created horizontal lines with a paintbrush. I just decided to take a little bit of a different route here and just start smudging black acrylic paint on the background with a palette knife. This was very, very different because I really never do black paint on white cardstock because it's so dramatic and so dark. And I'm going to keep playing with this here. Like I said, I spend most of this video making the butterflies and working on the background here. And I love how that looks. It's just very different for me because, like I said, it's very dramatic. And this is something else that Paige mentioned, that she was inspired by Sue's fish. And I totally think of Sue's fish when I think of white cardstock with black paint and big black splatters like this. I've seen her do this, and so definitely inspired by her as well. She's amazing. Her colors are always so light and bright with these pops of this black acrylic paint, and it's gorgeous. So here I decided to try to maybe add a little bit more color besides black, and I pulled out some light blue, almost minty. It's more blue than green, but yeah, and then some shimmers. I just want to experiment and see what this looks like. And you know, without anything on top of it, it looks like a hot mess. But yeah, and at this point, all I have on the background is the white gesso from the very beginning. But acrylic paint, you know, it's different than watercolor. It's gonna pretty much dry as soon as you start to scrape it on. You know, it's not gonna blend and smudge like other products. It is what it is. As you can see exactly how the black shapes are when I scraped it on. That's how it looks. It's not going to stay wet for very long for you to do any smudging. So that's just one of the differences in styles of paint. So I'm gonna put everything back on and just see how this looks. And I think it looks really pretty. I'm going to use one of those little butterflies on top of the two pictures like that because there's a lot of open black space in the pictures. And that's kind of how the design is going to look, but I'm not done yet. So I'm going to shove it all away. And then I felt like the black was too dark. I don't know, it was bugging me. So I'm going to kind of cover some of it up with some white gesso. And then I'm going to add a little bit more gesso down at the bottom. I don't think I got that part covered because I want to use some Distress Oxide. And I definitely want to make sure that I can blend and smudge that because I'm going to start with it dry like this with what is that thing called? A foam blending tool. And then I'm going to add some water and kind of smudge it. And the gesso will allow that to happen very easily. So I've got pink and orange. And I thought I would add a little bit of something different down underneath the pictures since I've got all the black and the blue above the pictures. And then the butterflies will provide lots of color. And I just thought that looked really pretty. And the Distress Oxides are really, really cool. They react with water very, very cool. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's really neat to watch them react with water. You can do the packaging technique with these. You could use them dry like I did in the beginning. You could water them down and use them as watercolor. You can splatter them like I'm doing here. All kinds of possibilities for those. And I'm placing my photos like this because If you look at the photos, she's looking different directions in each one. And so I've positioned the photos to where it looks like she's looking in toward the middle of the layout. And then it also looks like she's looking kind of up and across at the butterflies. And I love how that effect kind of happens just in, if you design it the right way, and it makes it look like the people in the pictures are looking at things on your page. And I want them to be kind of crooked and offset, so I'm going to stick them together and kind of treat them as one big long picture, and then go ahead and stick them down to some tissue paper. And one of the fun things about this layout is I really didn't use a collection. I kind of just made this from white cardstock, which is one of my most favorite things to do. And just make something from scratch. Just get out your colors, get out your mixed media, and make something that's unique and different. You don't always have to have a collection. You don't always have to have every single paper and every single embellishment. Yeah, it's fun to make these pages like this. So I'm going to add a little bit of foam behind the pictures there, and that's just cheap foam from Walmart. I'm going to sort of add a little bit of shadowing in underneath some of these butterflies with a dark gray gelato. I couldn't find my black gelato, so I'm going to use dark gray in a couple of spots, and then add a couple more little areas of a darker pink down here at the bottom. I'm just using my finger dipped into a little bit of water to smudge it. And again, the gesso makes that process super easy. I'm going to add a little bit of thread. I've got a lighter pink and a darker pink. I'm just going to put these two threads together and add that right underneath the picture there. And I love how that looks. I was kind of squealing with happiness as I made this layout. I was so happy with how everything turned out. I was just, yeah. I haven't been this happy making a layout in a long time. I'm going to start to glue down all of these butterflies. And I'm definitely not going to glue the entire back of them down. I'm going to glue down the centers. And so you're going to have a lot of dimension here because I want those wings to pop off the page. Now here's something I decided to do. I pulled out some of my Spiegel Mom Scraps sequins, and I added a little sequin, different colors, into the middle of each of the butterflies. And it kind of covered up the stitching, but I'm okay with that. I've still got all the thread flying around everywhere, and so you can still tell that they've been stitched. Now this is a sticker from one of my Me and My Big Ideas random sticker sheets, and I'm going to cut it to stick down here underneath the pictures. It's kind of a clear sticker, and it's kind of like floral. You can't hardly tell, but it's black and pink floral letters, and it says beautiful. And I'm going to just add that down at the bottom. I didn't know what to put as a title. I obviously did not want to put it up top because I did not want to cover up those dimensional butterflies, and so everything that I needed to add at this point is going to be kind of around the pictures. And that's another sticker from the same sticker sheet that says forever. And then I randomly found these. These are from Pink Paisley Citrus Bliss, I think. And I had a couple of puffy stickers left over, and the colors matched perfectly. So I'm going to add in just a couple of little puffy stickers here. That orange one says so happy. And then I'm going to add in a couple of little hearts, little puffy hearts. I love it when I find something in my stash that matches mixed media stuff perfectly. And then another little butterfly from that sticker sheet down there at the bottom. And then I felt like I needed something on the edge of each side. And so I pulled out this older piece of Studio Calico. I think this is from the 7 Paper company when they had that out. And I'm just going to stick it to the back of each side on the left and right and kind of do a messy layer of this black and white stripe kind of peeking through. And I think this really sets it off, because I felt like it was just too white around the edges. And so this is a fun way to get some color. And then one of the last things I'm going to do is add in a couple of phrase stickers from my Tim Holtz sticker book. Again, I got that from Michael's. Just a couple of inspirational quotes and things. And then I add the date, and that is it. That is the final layout. I am obsessed with how this turned out. Those butterflies are gorgeous. So a huge shout out to Paige Evans for inspiring me to make this layout. I don't feel like mine does hers justice because hers is stunning, but she totally inspired me to do this and I love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the products or the techniques, anything that I may have forgotten to mention. I took a lot of close-ups because these butterflies are just too pretty not to. You guys have got to try this. You have to try it because it was so much fun and it was really easy. It really was. You just make a mess. That is it. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.